On August 10, 2025, at exactly 3:25 p.m., a group of Russian military commanders gathered in a secret underground bunker near Kherson, discussing deployment strategies for the southern front. They were calm and confident, certain that their position, deep below reinforced concrete, was completely secure. What they didn't know was that the Ukrainian military had been watching this very facility for months. Using satellite reconnaissance, signal interception, and ground surveillance, Ukrainian intelligence had mapped the bunker's communication antennas, ventilation systems, access tunnels, and surrounding logistics routes. Every operational pattern, vehicle traffic, antenna rotation, door activity, was documented and analyzed. At that same time, far from the bunker, a Ukrainian F-16 fighter jet was preparing for takeoff. The mission: to eliminate this underground command center using 2 GBU-62 JDAM-ER precision bombs. This was no simple strike. The attack required a low-altitude flight profile, extreme navigation precision, and coordinated electronic warfare and decoy tactics to avoid detection by Russian radar systems such as the S-300 and S-400. At 2:57 p.m., ground crews completed pre-launch preparations. 2 454-kilo JDAM-ER bombs were mounted under the wings, both fitted with delayed fuses designed to explode only after penetrating the target. A chaff pod for radar deception was attached beneath the fuselage. The F-16 also carried 2 AIM-120 missiles for defense and 2 external 370-gallon tanks for extended range. The aircraft systems were loaded with the GPS coordinates, INS, inertial navigation, data, and toss trajectory parameters needed for the release. Mission planners emphasized the importance of flying between 50 and 60 meters altitude to remain below the radar horizon. Because of the curvature of the Earth, even powerful long-range radars cannot detect low-flying aircraft until they are within about 25-30 kilometers. This would allow the F-16 to close in undetected before launching its bombs. At 3:03 p.m., afterburners lit up, and the fighter lifted off from a mobile runway. Moments later, it descended to treetop height, flying across the terrain in a nap-of-the-earth profile, hugging valleys and contours. At such low altitude, the pilot had to balance constant turbulence and the risk of engine ingestion of debris. Every second demanded split-second corrections by the flight computer. Meanwhile, Ukrainian surveillance UAVs monitored the Russian bunker from high altitude. Their sensors showed activity, rotating antennas and opening service doors, confirming that the command meeting was in progress. The real danger lay ahead. To release its bombs at maximum range, the jet would have to perform a brief pop-up climb, momentarily exposing itself above the radar horizon. Russian air defense operators would immediately detect and engage the aircraft during this short window. At 3:18 p.m., the pilot activated the decoy package. A swarm of mini UAVs began emitting false radar echoes and visible trails, creating a maze of phantom contacts to confuse Russian operators. For just a few seconds, the defenders would lose certainty about where the real target was. At 3:21 p.m., the radar warning receiver began to beep. Illumination from the northeast. The pilot banked sharply, performing a beam maneuver to confuse Doppler radar returns. The ALQ-131 jammer emitted broadband noise. Seconds later, the system screamed again. Missile launch. The pilot deployed an ALE-50 towed decoy, reduced speed slightly, and widened his turn to throw off the missile's trajectory. Moments later, the missile detonated harmlessly, fooled by the decoy. The radar operators would try again soon. The moment had come to strike. At 3:22 p.m., the F-16 pitched up at a 35-40-degree angle, climbing rapidly to about 2,000 meters. From this altitude, the JDAM-ER wing kits could glide several kilometers, allowing the aircraft to release from a safe distance. Both JDAM-ER bombs separated cleanly. Their INS, GPS guidance systems engaged immediately, locking onto the preloaded coordinates of the underground command complex. The first munition was aimed directly at the main ventilation shaft, a critical weak point that connected the subterranean galleries to the surface. As soon as the bombs were away, the pilot nosed the aircraft down, diving back to low altitude to avoid further radar exposure. The egress route was carefully plotted to minimize radar coverage and ground-based observation. The entire flight, from takeoff to landing, would last just under 20 minutes. Inside the bombs, small glider wings deployed, allowing them to travel dozens of kilometers autonomously. Even if GPS signals were jammed, the inertial navigation unit ensured they stayed on course. Each bomb carried a delayed fuse, calculated to detonate after penetrating several meters underground. The goal was not a visible explosion, but an internal collapse that would destroy equipment, air ducts, and personnel within the bunker. At 3:27 p.m., the first JDAM-ER struck the precise coordinates, hitting within meters of the ventilation shaft. The delayed fuse activated after a 1.1 second delay, creating a massive internal overpressure. The blast wave traveled through the air ducts and corridors, collapsing walls, snapping power conduits, and severing communication cables. The structure's internal supports gave way. The second bomb arrived seconds later, amplifying the destruction. Its explosion shattered what was left of the bunker's internal galleries and caused the roof plates to collapse inward. The ground above appeared only slightly disturbed, just a crater about 3 meters deep. But beneath the surface, the complex was annihilated. Inside, 25 Russian officers, including battalion commanders, staff planners, and engineers, were killed instantly. The explosions tore through the central meeting room, breaking support columns, crushing walls, and burying all inside. There was no fire, only total internal collapse. The F-16, now free of its payload, maintained radio silence and returned safely to the mobile airstrip. Within 17 minutes, it was back on the ground, its mission complete. The onboard pod transferred imagery and telemetry data to backup servers for analysis. No pursuit or radar tracking followed. The aircraft had vanished as if it were never there. The consequences were immediate and devastating. With the command headquarters destroyed, the Kherson front line lost its entire coordination node. Orders stopped flowing. Artillery fire halted. Supply convoys waited for authorization that never came. Engineering units paused their fortification work, and drone reconnaissance missions were suspended. For 8 hours, no one on the front line received new instructions. The effects cascaded across the entire sector. Without the command node, forward battalions froze in place. Transport orders were delayed. Minefield control systems were deactivated. Even basic communications became unreliable. The flow of operational decisions, the lifeblood of a battlefield, was gone. In the following days, chaos spread. Russian units began sending duplicate or conflicting orders. Some artillery batteries fired at the same target twice. Others didn't fire at all. Coordination broke down completely. The gap lasted for 72 hours before a secondary command node could re-establish control, but by then, the damage was done. During this time, Ukraine took advantage. On 8 different fronts, Ukrainian forces advanced or applied pressure, exploiting the paralysis. The strike on a single underground bunker had disrupted the rhythm of an entire sector of the Russian army. When satellite images arrived later that day, they confirmed the destruction. 14 successive frames showed the same thing. The central building was gone. The crater perfectly matched the JDAM-ER impact signature. Blast depth measured 3.2 meters. The pattern of collapse proved the explosion had originated inside. Intelligence cross-referenced reports confirming 25 confirmed losses, including 2 colonels, 4 lieutenant colonels, and 3 engineers. This mission became a defining example of how a single precision strike could cripple an entire command network. The F-16 had used one sortie, 2 munitions, and less than 20 minutes to deliver a strategic blow that caused a multi-day operational shutdown. The Russian side never saw the aircraft, never intercepted it, and never traced its route. Only the aftermath revealed what had happened. The psychological effect was as powerful as the physical one. Russian officers began avoiding surface-level positions. Meetings were moved deeper underground or postponed. Decision-making slowed. Fear of being targeted became part of daily life. Command structures were pulled further back, which reduced situational awareness and slowed battlefield reactions. In response, Ukraine refined the mission model. Mobile bases multiplied. Pod systems were upgraded with faster image transmission and better targeting software. Fuel logistics were duplicated to sustain rapid redeployment. Mission computers were reprogrammed to shorten calculation time, and the radar signature suppression window was extended. Training shifted toward fast execution, minimal runway time, short sortie duration, and immediate data relay. JDAM fuse sensitivity was optimized, guidance algorithms improved, GPS deviation minimized, and munition reliability increased. Each new mission learned from the previous one. Noise frequencies and jammers were refined, pod data transfer became faster, and targeting accuracy reached within 1.3 seconds of identification. Ukraine turned the F-16's JDAM-ER system into a repeatable, efficient, and highly feared strike platform. The Kherson operation illustrated the new paradigm of modern warfare. Precision, timing, and intelligence could outweigh numbers and size. By using geometry, timing, and data-driven accuracy, a single aircraft could paralyze an entire front without large-scale engagement. Yet such missions also depend on fragile perfection. A sudden wind shift, a jammed GPS signal, a faulty fuse, or the loss of a tracking UAV could have caused total failure. The Ukrainian Air Force compensated with backup targets, alternate routes, and layered decoys to ensure resilience. The attack exposed the paradox of defense. The more Russia fortified its bunkers, adding depth, thicker walls, and extra shafts, the more surface infrastructure it needed. Ventilation, power conduits, fiber links. Each one became a potential weak point. Every improvement opened a new vulnerability. When viewed strategically, the destruction of the Kherson command center did more than eliminate 25 officers. It crippled a decision chain, froze logistics, and demoralized entire battalions. Radar systems had failed, EW defenses had been fooled, and the Russian command system, built to be resilient, had collapsed from within. Ukraine's F-16s, armed with JDAM-ER bombs, not only destroyed a bunker, they shattered the illusion of invulnerability. From that day forward, Russia's command discipline changed. Deeper bunkers, slower orders, longer reaction times. Coordination suffered. The psychological pressure lingered. A single 20-minute flight, executed with precision, intelligence, and timing, had reshaped the course of an entire front. That is how, through the destruction of one underground facility, Ukraine didn't just break a bunker, it struck at the backbone of the Kremlin itself.